everybody. Welcome back to The Limit Breakdown, where we break down the latest in TV, movies, and everything going on in entertainment. I'm your host, Migs.
I'm Sid.
And today we're going to be doing our review of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. And our too long didn't watch review of this movie is going to be, we'll start with some positives. It had good character development for Ant-Man. It was a good setup for Phase 5, and Jonathan Majors was absolutely amazing as Kang.
However, the quantum realm was a huge disappointment. The plot was very simplistic, and then it leaned too heavily into, forced humor, so...
That's why we're going to give this movie 3 hearts. Stay tuned after the intro to get our deep dive into Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Limit Breakdown. We are reviewing the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania movie that just came out. So, Migs, why did you like this movie that exists in this world?
Okay, look, I don't think it's as bad as everybody says it was. Obviously, we have a little bit of a different opinion on here.
Call me Negative Nancy.
Well... Sydney. How can I explain this?
Start from the top.
Let's start from the top. Yeah, I agree with some of the criticisms. The plot was very, very simple. You don't have a whole lot of conflict. You have the introduction to Kang. I think where this movie fails more than anything else is in marketing, because and let me explain this. If this movie was not called Ant-Man and the Wasp, but if it was instead called Kang the Conqueror, and you focused a little bit more on Kang, which is what everybody wanted to see, and just kind of have some sprinkles of Ant-Man in there, I think you would have ended up with a much more solid movie. The best parts of this movie were the parts that involved Jonathan Majors and Kang.
I will agree. Jonathan Majors did a great job, great acting, and he portrayed to me what Kang the Conqueror would be.
I really enjoyed the parts with him and Michelle Pfeiffer, even some of the backstory
definitely.
That they gave with her. There really wasn't a whole lot of the Wasp in this movie, even though she's one of the title characters.
She's just there.
She's one of the title characters, but it really wasn't much of Ant-Man and the Wasp. There was barely any Ant-Man in there. Like I said, it was mostly Kang, which, again, I don't mind that, but if you are going to do a Kang movie, do a Kang movie.
They should just call it Ant-Man versus Kang.
Yeah, but at the same time, I sort of see what they were going with. I don't necessarily know how I feel about what they did with the quantum realm. I mean, obviously it is a subspace. It is, its own pocket universe within itself, within the comics. So that wasn't completely out of the question.
Pause.
Okay.
There's a plot hole in the movie.
Okay.
With what you just said.
Okay.
Right. So.
Educate me. I'm not well as
so
versed.
This is from my understanding. So
okay.
Now I'm not going off the comics. This is from MCU and within that one movie.
Okay.
In MCU, Scott Lang and Michelle Pfeiffer's character have both been stuck in the quantum realm.
Okay.
Right. Obviously, when what's her actual name? Van Dyke. Janet Van Dyke. When she was stuck, she went through the whole
Van Dyne,
the whole thing that she went through. When Scott was stuck, he was just in limbo, right? Same thing when in the movie they explained that when Pym went into when subatomic, he's like, it was just nothingness. Where did all of this come from? And she's like, and she doesn't explain it. She's like, oh, well, this happened, and then Kang took over and then created the universe. If both Scott and him were in the subatomic level, in the quantum realm, and didn't see any of this, and other Marvel characters, including my Iron Man, who's very smart, has been in the quantum realm for their time traveling purposes, and they also didn't see this, where did quantum people come from?
I don't see that as a plot hole. Okay, no.
He literally said, he's like, this didn't exist last time I was here. Where did all this come from?
Okay, let me explain. Right? It's a simple. Let me explain. There's a very simple explanation for this. No, no. Actually, it could be just as simple as they didn't go small enough. You know. The very first time that Ant-Man went subatomic, like he went to a certain level and he stopped.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the second movie that they had to get more technology to be able to go deeper.
Subatomic, yeah.
Deeper into the go plus ultra, I guess, into the quantum realm. So it's possible. I think that all of this stuff has been there. Just that they hadn't gone as far. Hank and Scott hadn't gone as far as they had this particular time around. So I didn't necessarily see that as a plot hole.
Fair enough.
But
no, I did enjoy the subatomic people, especially the holy one. That was pretty funny.
How many holes do you have?
I swear to God, when they said he has 7 holes, I kid you not, the entire theater was like...
I'm not gonna lie, I did the same thing.
Everyone's like, where are the other 2 holes? That was a funny scene. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, no. And then, no, but, I thought, oh God.
Scott Lang.
Not Scott Lang.
Kang. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh God, why is his name escaping me? He was in Zombieland.
Woody Harrelson.
The other comedian. Groundhog's Day. Ghostbusters.
Oh, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Mr. Murray. If you ever see this, I apologize. I love your work. But no, Bill Murray's unnecessary cameo.
I thought it was hilarious. So Marvel has done this thing where they add random like A-list celebrities in their movies, like Sylvester Stallone in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
You remember that one? Like randomly he's in there. So I'm cool with Marvel adding random characters.
Well, it was one of those situations with the forced humor that I was talking about before, because it's like when they do the whole thing where they're kind of like, Bill Murray's kind of like insinuating that him and Janet like got it on
yeah.
while they were there.
And she's like, I had needs. I was like, subatomic level.
I mean, even what happens in the quantum realm stays in the quantum realm. No, but yeah, I mean the 7 holes thing was. Let's talk about MODOK.
I thought MODOK was awesome when he had his mask on. And then as soon as he took his mask off, he went from yeah to... I enjoy MODOK. As a character in the comics and the animated series and all that, I think he's a great villain. They butchered him.
I thought it was an interesting premise. Like, they literally took the concept of him shrinking into himself as an explanation as to why he's a floating head with little arms.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And then MODOK is kind of a comedic character at times.
I did not want to see his naked butt.
Oh, yeah. I could have lived without that. I totally could have lived without that. Although I absolutely died laughing at the end when he's like dying afterwards, and he's like, at least I died as an Avenger.
And then they're like, yeah, sure. I don't know. They butchered MODOK so bad. They should have just left his face on the whole time, or if they were gonna take it off, not make him look so. Very disappointing in MODOK. Very, very disappointed in MODOK. They made him look cool and everything, but that was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So
Cassie Lang was interesting.
I actually did like her character. Now, she was annoying at first. She was very annoying at first, but it's one of those. She was annoying, but it makes sense, right? So she's like, oh, she was going to jail a few times. She's doing these bad things, but she's like, I'm trying to help people.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of following in her dad's footsteps, kind of like the noble criminal, if you will.
Good intentions, bad actions.
Yeah.
So, I actually thought that she did a pretty good job, and the character made sense. Catherine Newton was.
Although is everybody all of a sudden gaining like Tony level type intelligence because like she made a
quantum signal
amplifier in the basement, just like not even a box of scraps.
Yeah, I found that weird. I don't remember in the previous movies if they had shown that she has a knack for like science or mathematics. I don't remember. I'm not saying no.
I mean, look, it's canonical that Scott Lang is kind of a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, well, not
Hank Pym levels, but he's not. He's not. Yeah. I mean, he does have like several degrees and is like some type of high level hacker. So like there's obviously some intelligence in there, but I thought that was a little bit of a reach for them to be like, oh yeah, I mean, but then again, Hank did help her. Yeah. So like, they said that she made it, but it could have very well been Hank was doing most of the heavy lifting. So.
Fair.
I thought that
her suit looked awesome, by the way.
Yeah, her suit.
I actually really enjoyed her suit.
Her suit was pretty cool, and I did enjoy her fight with MODOK.
Yeah.
The last. The climatic fight sequence I thought was really cool.
Gotcha. We'll come back to that. Let's go through the other ones. So the plot of the story, I'll just do a quick overtake. Cassie Lang builds a signal to a subatomic level. Janet is like, no, shut it down. We don't want to talk. We don't talk about Bruno. They get sucked in. The machine turns on. They get sucked in. They find out Janet has been like a freedom fighter for when she was down here, and people are afraid because Kang has took over and he has a second-hand man who's MODOK, and Kang basically wants to get out with the help of Janet, who destroyed his orb that powers his machine. And now Scott's like, with obviously Cassie being like, we have to help these people. And he's like, it's not our fight. She's like, but you're an Avenger. He's like, so what you were saying, his character building. And basically at the end of it, they're like, we have to defeat Kang. He can't get out. Yeah. That's going to be our hero thing for today. Even though in real time, the whole movie took place for over like 5 minutes.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's subatomic level time. Kang's motive was just to get out, so that he can destroy other universes, so they don't collapse the timeline. So
here's here we're gonna get a little bit into theory crafting. Okay. So we're gonna put our tinfoil hats on. But I think that Kang is. Well, I mean, obviously they all are, but Kang eventually becomes He Who Remains, the one who was at the end of season 1 Loki.
I have a different theory, but okay, I'll let you run with this, and I'll tell you my theory.
The reason I say this is there's a part where when He Who Remains is talking to Loki and the female Loki, I forget her name.
Sif. I don't know. Anyway. Oh wait, that's the lady Sif.
Sophie?
I don't know. Something like that.
We're bad at this.
Anyway, female Loki.
Anyway, when he's talking to them at the Citadel at the end of time, where he goes, "I've gone by many names." Yeah. And he goes, Sylvie. Yeah. He goes, "Some call me a conqueror."
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I thought it was very interesting. Skipping ahead to the post-credit scene where you have the Council of Kangs.
Yep.
where they're like they were so scared of this particular king that they exiled him into the quantum realm.
Yep.
So I think that he is the one who basically has the vision for the sacred timeline, and that's what he's trying to accomplish. Is that he wants to get out to basically, one, get revenge on the ones that exiled him, but two, to basically take control of the sacred timeline and make it his vision.
Yeah. I agree with that part. I don't think he becomes He Who Remains. I think that's a different Kang. I think because in the post-credit scene, there is, when all the visions or Kangs are popping up, you see one that looks like He Who Remains. I think this is a different version, right? This Kang, the exiled one, is the one that truly wants to basically do the Thanos thing.
Watch the world.
And I don't think he wants to watch the world. I think he truly does want to create one timeline and rather than splits it, but he's like, I'm going to just destroy all the timelines. That's why they destroyed the exiled them, because I think the other ones maybe just want to conquer, I don't know, whatever their plot is. And I think they're all different versions, right? Yeah. Oh, they're all different versions, but I think He Who Remains is just another version.
Yeah.
Because in the post-credit scene, there was Ramatut, there was Scarlet Centurion, and
there was Immortus.
Immortus, which is the three main Kangs. And I think now that one is gone, they're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna pool our resources together.
I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead either. I think he's gonna come back at some point.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be way down the line.
Yeah.
Because even Scott himself was like, I don't know if he died.
Yeah.
Right? Because he basically used the pimp particles to expand and contract at the same time.
Yeah.
On the machine and him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dead either.
Yeah.
So.
And I really enjoy, like, it would be very disappointing for them to have spent as much time as they did with this version of Kang, for them to kill him off and then just be like, oh, this is going to be another version.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely think so. And like I said, and Scott Lang specifically had a whole 5-minute conversation. He's like, I don't know if he's dead.
Yeah.
Bringing that into your mind, not letting the audience decide. They blatantly said it, we don't know. So he's definitely coming back.
Well, and I mean, they said Kang will be back.
So, yeah.
The post-credit scene with all of the Kangs on all of the Kang variants, which the fact that they went right into that was
the Dynasty of Kang.
Yeah.
Kang Dynasty, sorry.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see if it because there's also another theory of that the villains are going to be the Kang Dynasty, all the different evil variants of Kang, and this version of Kang is actually, like, he wasn't lying. Like, he was like, I'm actually the only one that can stop them.
Yeah. I think he was a truthful Kang, because if you notice in the movie, when him and Janet build the machine finally, and he promised her, he's like, I will take you back to your home, and she touches his machine or his contraption, sees the vision, and he I think he genuinely was like, I promised you I will take you back to your home. Your timeline would not be touched. I think he's a man of his word. Yeah. Right? And I think he was right that he's the one to be afraid of, because he just wants to kill all of them.
And that was another thing that I found interesting too, because I don't know if she understood what she was seeing when she touched that, because she saw Kang murdering and destroying.
Yep.
But what if what she was seeing wasn't her version of Kang, but another Kang?
Different. Yeah, good point. It could be a different version of Kang.
So
because she's connected to his mind.
Yeah.
And if he knows there's the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I thought was kind of interesting.
Now, the one thing I didn't like about Kang, so as I said, he's a man of his word. However, at the end of the movie, when he goes to Scott, he's like, look, you get me what I want, and I will let your daughter go. Right? Yeah. He gets him what he wants, and he's like, your daughter will be fine without you. That ruins the whole character of Kang. The whole time he's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. He's very honest the whole time. Even when they're in the cell, he's like, I will do what I'm saying. Yeah. He's like, either you help me or you don't. I am a man of my word. Yeah. And at the end, he's not. Another thing I didn't like. Had they just done that part, maybe he could have manipulated them in some way. Cool, whatever. But straight up, nah. And then even Scott was like, we had a deal. So clearly he's not a man of his word. So now it goes back to what I just said. Was he actually going to save Jenna's timeline?
Yeah.
If he's not a man of his word.
Yeah. That's a very interesting point. See, I interpreted that a little bit differently because I saw it as him not necessarily going back on his word, but him seeing that that Scott didn't really have the intention of handing it over. So because Scott didn't really upheld his end of the deal.
I mean, he had it in his hand. He wasn't, running away per se. He just had it in his hand.
Yeah.
So, I guess
it's a blurred line. I suppose.
Now, finally, the Ant-Man part of Ant-Man at the very end, you see Hank Pym, and he's like, "Yeah, this whole time I've been getting interferences in his little ear," and he's like, "Well, the ants arrived here like centuries before we did, and they've been building a colony for years, and now they can communicate." And I was like, "What?" So back to what you were saying, everybody's Iron Man level, including the ants.
Well, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
And the ants just wreck the entire place.
I do appreciate that, unlike other purple villains, Kang was not afraid to get in the gutter and get dirty.
Oh yeah. He's just like beep, 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 beep. You're gone. You're gone. That's pretty cool. But yeah, the ants came, wrecked everything. I had hoped that Hank Pym would have said the line, or something along the lines of, "I'm Ant-Man," like, or "I am the real Ant-Man," or something along those lines. Like that. That would have been ideal for me.
Ultimately, I feel like this movie had a lot of potential. And the problem was it was too focused on setting up the building blocks for Phase 5 and not so much telling a cohesive story. Commercially, it's doing well. It opened up to the highest opening of any of the other Ant-Man movies. So it's doing fine. I believe it's already recouped its budget. It had a $200 million budget. It's going on 330 worldwide box office.
Nice.
So even though it hasn't gotten the warmest of receptions from critics and everything, it does have a generally positive user review.
It's entertaining. I'll give you that. It's entertaining to watch. Just a lot of things just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like if they wanted to make a Kang movie, they should have just made a Kang movie. Although there were some elements that I enjoyed, and then I think right now Marvel is falling into that situation where they're a victim of their own success.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it took them so many years to build up to all of this. It took them so many years to build up to the end of the Infinity Saga, and then it was such a satisfying ending and such a great way to bookend that, and then it's so hard to go from that to slowly building back up again. And I think people are going into their minds with each new movie expecting an Avengers level movie in every movie and being disappointed when they're not getting it.
Yeah.
And
I think, and I agree, like I've been kind of a little upset with Marvel when it comes to it, but I understand. I'm still going to watch it. I think the Kang Dynasty is going to be the Infinity War of this phase, and then Secret War is going to be, hopefully, the Endgame. Yeah. Hopefully. No. I don't know, but that's at least what I'm thinking.
Alright, so give me your final thoughts, man.
Final thoughts. It's an okay movie to watch. It's an important movie to watch to understand Kang finally, because now he has made his big entrance. That's about it. It was very disappointing. I was not happy with the quantum realm at all. Didn't make sense to me. There was a few plot holes that I still think are plot holes. But I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, my final thoughts. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. Yeah, it's not the best MCU movie by far. Would I say go rush to go see it? You could probably wait to catch it on Disney Plus. But if you're an MCU diehard, it does connect some pieces, and it did leave me excited for Loki season 2.
I will agree. Loki season 2, I'm definitely excited for because they finally introduced Victor Timely, who was the original Kang, who went back in time with his technology to conquer, and then got kicked out, and that's how he became Ramatut.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, let us know if you agree or disagree with our thoughts and everything. And as always, we'll catch you guys next time. All right, so thanks for tuning in. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel.
And please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and podcasting services such as Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Thanks a lot. Catch you next time.